Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I'd kind of considered doing this video. When I first started my channel, I had like less than 100 subs, and I toyed with this idea, kind of put it on the back burner, didn't think anyone would care about why I personally love Batman, why I think he's a good role model, and we are going to get into that. But yesterday I was reading Court of Owls, Knife Trick, and they kind of covered the topic of what Gotham is. Talking about the Gotham elites, toying with the idea Gotham is murderous, Gotham is villainous, Gotham is home. And it kind of reminded me of the idea of doing this video and what exactly Gotham or Batman, more specifically, is to me. So, this is more of a passion project, so do not forget to like the video if you do, and if you are not subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share all of that fun shilling stuff that I hate to do, but YouTube has put me in a corner where they fucking hate me. So I gotta do it, I'm sorry. But that kind of brings me to the subject of what exactly Batman is to me. And like I said just a minute ago, he's a role model. He's something to look up to. He's the embodiment of what I want my moral compass to be, in a way. Not in the sense of real life heroes. I don't want to take away from that at all, because we do have our real life heroes. Nurses, doctors, firefighters. We have all of those real life heroes, and some people don't look up to them. I mean, not that they don't look up to them. They find their heroes in fiction, whether it's when you're a child or an adult. That's where I found my hero, was in fiction, very, very young age. I was probably 8 when I started really getting into Batman. I can remember being in my closet with my flashlight and my Batman comics, all huddled in the corner reading my comics, or being on the playground, and a couple of us used to trade comics. It'd be X-Men and Batman. Those were the two big ones. Superman every once in a while. But we would trade comics. We would give them back and forth. You read this one tonight, I'll read this one tonight. So we kind of got picked on. And I remember, putting my Bruce face on, putting my Batman face on to stand up to those bullies. And I always thought, if I were able to put that persona on, even if I was only tough in that moment, it was tough enough. And I kind of put that throughout my whole life. And it sounds really silly, but it worked. It worked for me. But the reason I love Bruce so much, and the reason I'm such a big Batman fan, is because he's human. And that makes a huge difference to people. He has his demons. Obviously, in his childhood, it was very traumatic, but to some it was relatable. Maybe not quite in the sense, but everybody has demons. He even suffers from post-traumatic stress, which a lot of people do too. He has issues with his past. It makes him very humanized. It makes him very relatable. But the best thing about it is what he does with that. He transforms those demons. He transforms that PTSD. We can relate to both kind of the struggle we see within him and the growth that comes from it. And I think that's kind of amazing to see that growth, to see him go from, year one when he's messing up, to the Batman we have now, who's almost in a sane relationship-ish. That can be debatable. But even so, he's flawed. He's human. He doesn't need to be perfect. A role model should not be perfect, because you shouldn't look up to this godlike figure, which is kind of why I didn't relate to Superman near as much. His flaws are almost more interesting than his strengths, because someone with limitless power, and I keep going back to Superman. I'm not trying to diss on Superman. He's just never been my favorite character. He's got limitless power. He's not the underdog. Sometimes you want to root for the underdog, and not saying that Batman is, but there's nothing without kryptonite that you can do to Superman. He is limitless. But with Bat, we kind of see the humanity within. We see the human side. We see and love that characteristic, that growth, that struggle. And that's a really, really what it comes down to in a hero for me, is seeing them overcome, seeing them struggle. It shows us, he always kind of showed us, that you don't need superpowers to be a superhero. You don't need superpowers to serve people. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it matters in real life. Because we do have real life heroes that don't have superpowers, but they still have the ability to help and to serve. As a human, he has fears, and when it comes to him, it shows us that conquering them means more. Conquering those fears is what matters in a superhero, and I love that. And I said it before, I love the conquering, I love the growth, I love the struggle. I love seeing and reading about that. Not only that, but he has a massive knowledge base. Like, obviously, he's Batman, right? He is one of the smartest people. He's consistently seeking out knowledge. He's always wanting to learn what and more about a subject. He pushes himself to know more, always. But not only that, of course, he's extremely intelligent. Whether it comes to tech, whether it comes to jiu-jitsu, whatever martial artist it is, he's intelligent, but he takes it to the next step. He kind of passes that knowledge base on to the next generation. I'm talking about specifically the Robins, Batgirl, the Orphan, those characters. He takes that knowledge and he doesn't just stow it away in his brain. He passes that on. He wants to help the next generation of fighters, whether it's with his brain or with, his body, his martial artistry. He passes that knowledge base on to them. He's continually teaching them in, almost a paternal way. And I love that. He teaches them also patience. When he's teaching them these things, he's teaching them patience, how to do it correctly. He teaches them through experience. Now, I know taking a Robin at such a young age and immediately starting training, these kinds of things can seem ridiculous. But it also takes, so talking about Dick Grayson specifically, the loss of his parents. It takes them and it kind of gives him a focus for his rage, for his anger. It gives him something to focus, to keep his mind busy, and it works. It really does. He also teaches them, and us about justice through, harmony, whereas revenge is more about making ourselves feel better. We want that harmonic balance instead of just feeling better at the end of the day, which even through revenge, you're not really going to feel better. He teaches them to be selfless and know their worth. Most importantly, know their worth. Know what they are, who they are, and how important they are. And I love that. He also, teaches a lot of proper preparation. Obviously, you have to have that preparation, and we see that with Batman consistently and constantly because he's constantly able and has, a gadget for everything, basically. Another thing I love about Batman, and it's a very obvious thing that makes him a great role model, is loyalty. He is not only loyal to Gotham, he's loyal to the Bat family. He's loyal to the ultimate dad figure for me, which is Alfred. I love Alfred. He really is the ultimate dad figure. Not only that, but he gives up multiple relationships for Batman. Not for Bruce Wayne, for Batman. And another thing I do love that's specific to his character is that, he is Batman. Bruce Wayne is more of the cowl. Sure, he puts on his cowl and becomes Batman, but that's really who he is. Bruce Wayne is just his persona, his billionaire playboy persona. And it works. It works really well. I love his pursuit for justice. Obviously, we're going to get into the no-kill rule, the unwilling to sacrifice a human life. And that's important because he believes every single life has the potential for doing something good. And if you go into a fight thinking that every single person in the room, whether they're crazy or a doctor or a brain surgeon or the girl next door, if every life has the potential to do something good, no life should be taken. Everyone should be spared. And I really like that about him. We see the justice through his actions, and he says, it's not who we are underneath, but it's what we do that defines us. And he's right. Actions absolutely speak louder than words. And it's a good way, it's a good model to go by. Because if our actions are speaking for us, whether it's the inaction, the silence, whether it's a big fight, our actions are going to speak louder than anything we can possibly say. Last thing I kind of want to talk about when it comes to him being a good role model, and it seems weird when it comes to being a good role model, but it's a rogues gallery. And obviously, if you were to ask a normal person on the street, Batman is more known for his rogues than any other superhero, period. But each rogue shows us a different piece of the human, like different piece of the human side of Bruce, whether it's a flaw or a struggle. So like, obviously, for instance, Scarecrow shows us, you know, his fear, his struggle with the unknown, his struggle with being afraid in general, which everyone is, of something. Joker, his fear of chaos, the chaotic. Riddler, his intelligent side. Bane, his strength. Like, we literally saw him break his back. So he had to overcome that. Oh, Poison Ivy and kind of Catwoman too, less than Temptation. We get to see a little bit through each of those to his personality. It gives us a little piece of the Bruce puzzle, so to speak. And I like that. I like that his rogues are gathered about bringing each piece of him out. I think it's really important because if you just have a regular bad guy, he's not going to be memorable unless there's a challenge to it, unless there's something that has to be, again, overcome, something that has to make you grow. So I really do think that it's so fitting with each of those taking a piece of the puzzle. He's kind of a symbol of inspiration, obviously, at least in my eyes. But I honestly think the most important thing when it comes to Bruce being my role model, anyone's role model in general, is that he never played victim. He never played victim to his childhood. He never had that victim-like mentality. What he did was he used those things. He used a bad childhood. He used a semi-bad life and transformed it to become a better person. He wasn't like, oh, poor me. He was like, nah, fuck this. I'm going to use this and I'm going to be the best fucking person I can be. And I think that's really important, especially nowadays, because we see a lot of the oh, poor me mentality. And it's a shame because really, quit feeling bad for yourself. Quit being a professional fucking victim. Put your big girl panties on and go about your day and overcome it. But that doesn't happen anymore in our society. And that's why Batman's so important, whether it's to me or to you. He's important because he overcame and became better and never used his victim card. I don't know. Like, okay, hi. My cat just joined me. My favorite line from, I think it was Dark Knight Rises. Why do we fall? So we can pick ourselves back up. He teaches us literally that every single day, every single comment. So if we think about it that way, with our failures, we become stronger. With our failures, we become greater as people. I think it's a perfect way to have an outlook on life. I don't know. I always wanted to do this video just to kind of share my story. So let me know what you guys think. It could be a hot mess. Make sure to check community post. And yeah, that's all I have. I will see you guys in the next time. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you want to help support the channel, make sure to check out the links to my Patreon and subscribe star below. But I want to thank my current Patreons, Robert, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Earth Citizen 09, General Zod, who also has a YouTube channel, Troy Reiser, Grand Smear, Mike, Black Knight Fool, and Brucey. You guys help keep this channel up and running, and I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure on the way out to like and subscribe if you are new. Bye-bye.